students, welcome to my channel Gurukul Parishar. So students, in this lecture we are going to study chapter 3 of class 7th physics. So the name of the chapter is energy. In this chapter we are going to deal with energy. So let us discuss about what are the topics that we are going to study in the chapter. So first of all, we have to deal with the work, after which we are dealing with energy, next different forms of energy, and after which transformation of energy, and the last is conservation of energy. So these are the main learning objectives of this chapter. So students, let's get started with our today's chapter 3, energy. So students, let us discuss about work. So work has different meanings for different peoples. For example, when we study, we do mental work. When a worker carries bricks and cement to higher floors of a building, he does physical work against the force of gravity. As we all know that earth has a gravitational force which attracts each object around it. But in science, work has a definite meaning. The technical meaning of work is not always the same as the common meaning. So let's get started with the work. So let us take an example. If you lift an object above the ground, you do work. If you pull some object, you have done some work. In these cases, you applied some force which moved the object. In science, work is said to be done only if a force moves an object. So in previous classes, in previous chapter, you learned about force. So what is a force? A force is simply defined as a push or a pull on an object which causes displacement in the position of the object, or we can say that the object changes its state of motion if it is in rest, or if the object is in motion, then it's change its state into rest state. So now here, what is work? So we can define as work is said to be done only if a force moves an object. Now let us study some factors on which work depend. So the work done by a force on a body depends on two factors. So here, first factor is magnitude of the force, means amount of the force that is applied on the body. Second is distance through which the body moves in the direction of force. So this is the displacement of the body. Let us take an example to study work. So here you can see this is a block. Now the block, if we apply a force on the block, this is the initial position of the body or block. After applying a force on the body comes in motion and changes its state or changes its position. So here, this is the final position of the body. As here you can see, as you can easily see here, that this is the initial position of the body and this is the final position of the body. So the distance between the initial position and the final position, this is the distance, or we can simply say that this is the displacement. So now let us define work. So work done in moving a body is equal to the product of force extended on the body and the distance moved by the body in the direction of force. So we can simply define as work is equal to force into distance moved in the direction of force, or we can simply say that work is the product of force and the displacement. So let us take here example. If a force F acts on a body and moves it a distance s in its own direction, then work done is equal to product of force and displacement. So now students, let us move to some more points here. So here, let us discuss about unit of work. So first of all, we know that work is the product of force and distance. Now you all know that what is the unit of force. So you know that the unit of force is Newton, which is represented by capital N, and that of distance is meter, or displacement is meter. So the unit of work is Newton meter, because work done is equal to the product of the force applied and the displacement, or we can simply define the distance between the initial position and the final position of the object. So this is the unit of work, which is Newton meter. So Newton meter is the SI unit of work, which is also known as joule. So generally we take joule as a unit of work as well as Newton meter as a unit of work. So now let us discuss about 1 Newton. So 1 joule. So when a force of 1 Newton moves a body through a distance of 1 meter in its own direction, then the work done is known as 1 joule, which is mathematically represent as 1 joule is equal to 1 Newton into 1 meter, which is finally equals to 1 joule is equal to 1 Newton meter. So the SI unit of work is joule, which is denoted by the letter capital J. So here next point is work is a scalar quantity. So work is a scalar quantity. It means work has magnitude, but there is no direction. Now let us move to some examples. Let us discuss these examples. So here in example, a force of 5 Newton when applied to a body displaces it 2.5 meters. Find the amount of work done in this process. So here we have to find the work done. So as we all know that work done is equal to, so here work done is equal to force into distance or displacement. Here we have given the values of force and displacement. So force is equal to 5 Newton, whereas displacement or distance is equal to 2.5 meters. So putting these values in the formula, we got 5 into 2.5. After calculation or after multiplication, we got work done is equal to 12.5 joules. Now students, let us move to the next example. So here next example is a force of 125 Newton acts on a body of mass 10 kg and produces a displacement of 12.5 meter in its own direction. Calculate the amount of work done. So here we have given three quantities. First one is force, second is mass of the object or body, and third is displacement or distance. So here we have to put only force, or we have to use only the values of force and displacement, because we know that work done is equal to force into displacement. So here the use of mass, so here there is no use of mass that is given in the question. So don't be panic regarding the mass of the object. So here let us solve the question. So the value of the force is 125 newtons, whereas the value of the displacement is 12.5 meter. So putting these values in the formula, we got 125 into 12.5. After multiplication, we got 1562.5 joules. So this is the work done when a force of 125 Newton applies on a body having mass 10 kg and produces a displacement of 12.5 meter. So students, let us move to the next topic. So here next topic is conditions of no work or zero work. So let us discuss about what are the conditions when we say that there is no work or zero work. So let's start. If you may apply all your strength or force in trying to lift a car or push a wall and find that you cannot move it, since the object did not move, no work is done. So here the work to be done by the force applied by you. Thus, in physics, no work is done if an object or body does not move on applying a force. For example, so here the condition is, if you are applying a force on a wall, then the wall does not move after applying the force. So in terms of physics, here no work is done because there is no movement in the body, or there is no displacement in the body. But actually you know that you are applying force on the object, but in terms of physics there is no work done if an object does not move on applying a force. Let us study some examples. So here, first example is, when you push a wall by applying force, does it move from its position? Since the wall does not move, the work done by you on the wall is zero. Therefore, no work is done if there is no displacement. As in the figure, you can see that the boy is applying force on the wall, but the wall does not move or does not change its position, due to which we can say that no work is done because there is no displacement in the body. Now let us move to the second example. So here, a passenger is standing stationary at a railway platform with heavy bag may get tired soon, but he does no work because the bag held by him does not move at all. So the condition here is also same, because there is no displacement in the position of the body, means position of the bag, but the person gets tired after some time, means it loses its energy. But in terms of physics, there is no work done by the object. So students, these are the conditions which states that no work is done or zero work is done. Now students, let us move to the next topic, which is energy. So energy is very important for everyone, every living organism. So let us discuss about this term. So if a person can do a lot of work, we say that he has a lot of energy or he is very energetic. But in physics, anything which is able to do work is said to possess energy. Thus energy is the ability to do work. So we can simply define as, energy is the ability to do work. Without energy, any object cannot do any work. So a body having energy can do work as follows. A body which possesses energy can exert a force on another object. During this process, some of the body is transferred to the object. Due to this transfer of energy from one object to another object, the other object moves after applying force. And when the object moves, the work is said to be done. So here, energy is a scalar quantity because there is no direction, but energy has magnitude. So it has only magnitude but no direction. So energy is defined as a scalar quantity. So students, now let us move to the units of energy. So as earlier I mentioned that the unit of work is joule. So the unit of energy is also same. So the units of work and energy are the same. So the SI unit of energy is also joule, which is denoted by the letter capital J. So whenever work is done, an equal amount of energy is consumed. Keeping this in mind, we can define 1 joule as follows. So the energy required to do 1 joule of work is called 1 joule energy. It means the amount of energy, it means the amount of energy in an object is used to do work. So here, if 1 joule of work is done by any object, then it requires 1 joule of energy. So joule is a small unit for energy. If we consume more energy, then we have to use some bigger units of energy. So here a bigger unit of energy is kilojoule. So it is also used when we have to represent a large amount of energy. So the symbol of kilojoule is K, capital J. Now let us discuss how many joules present in 1 kilojoule. So 1 kilojoule is equal to 1000 joules. So students, the unit of energy joule is named after a British physicist, James Prescott Joule. So students, thanks for watching the video.